from my core floor, back for week 4 in our pelvic floor stretch series. So this week, what we're going to stretch, we've done adductors, we have done hip flexors, we have done the calf, and today we are going to get the back part of the hip. So we're going to get the hamstring. A lot of you, I'm sure, know the laying on your back, you stick your leg up and you stretch your hamstring, and that's okay. And there's, you know, you can just put your foot up on something and just stretch your hamstring. But I'm actually going to show you guys today how to do a 3-dimensional hamstring stretch, which will probably blow your mind because you will realize how super tight your hamstrings are. I don't care how long you've been stretching them for. If you haven't been doing it 3-dimensionally, we're going to hit some fibers that you guys have not been touching on when you're doing those stretches. That can be really key to help unlocking the pelvis from the back aspect of it. So I'm going to have you guys grab a stool or get near a stair because it's going to be the easiest to do it this way. You certainly could do it on the ground, but again, I think if your foot's elevated even just a little bit, so even if you don't have a step or a stool nearby or at home, grab like a couple books or something, stack them up. So just even this height is good enough, but you just want your foot elevated a little bit, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your foot up on the platform. I'm gonna go high just for video purposes. This is actually probably a little higher than what most of you wanna start out with. Unless your hamstrings are not that tight, you could go a little higher. This is about equal to about the second stair height. So I would say start out with either a book or start out with the first stair or like the bottom level of the stool. Like I said, for purposes of showing you in the video, I think it'll be easier if my foot is up higher, so I'm gonna stick it on this second step here. So what you're gonna do when you're stretching your hamstring is you're gonna get your foot up on a step. Make sure you're kind of near something where you're supported because I don't want you feeling like you're wobbling. Back to what we talked about in other weeks. If you're not stable, you're not gonna be able to stretch into it as much because you're gonna be more worried about balance than you are stretching. So get yourself someplace where you can kind of hold on nearby in case you need it. You're going to stick your foot up on the step and you're going to rest your heel on the step so that your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. This is going to be really key because if your toes are pointed straight and flat, you're going to actually lose some of that stretch through the hamstring. It's going to make it easier. And we're not necessarily looking for easy. We're looking for the proper stretch. So heel is going to be down, toes are pointed towards the ceiling. There's 2 different ways to do this, so I'm going to show you both and you can kind of play around with which works better for you or what you like better. The first way is to use your trunk as a way to stretch the hamstring. So the heel is going to go up on the step. You're going to actually bend the knee a little bit because of how the hamstring attaches and orients. You don't want it locked out. You'll get a little stretch with the lockout, but you'll actually get a better stretch if there's a little bit of give in that knee. So you want a little bit of a bend. You can hold on, like I said, if you need to. And then you're going to actually use your trunk to drive to the inner portion of your leg, right down the center of your leg, and to the outer portion of the leg. So what it's going to look like is this. It's going to be here, it's going to be here, and then it's going to be here. Okay? Actually, you know, I'm going to show you guys 3 ways to stretch it. So it'll give you 3 ways to tweak it. So 1 in each direction, okay? And notice that the bend is coming from my hips. I'm not doing this. I'm not curving from my spine. You want to kind of imagine your spine staying nice and straight like a board, and the bend is coming from the hips and from the pelvis. And it's to one side, down the middle, and then to the other side, okay? Another way to do it with the same kind of concept is to actually use your arm as a driver to drive the stretch. So heel still stays on, toes still stay pointed forward. You're going to take your opposite hand. So my left foot right now is up on the stool, so I'm going to take my right hand, and you're going to now reach with your arm in those 3 directions. So you're going to reach towards the outside of the foot, you're going to reach right towards the toes, and then you're going to reach towards the inside of the foot, okay? And so it becomes a 3-dimensional kind of reach, okay? And it needs to really be the opposite hand. I have some clients that will try to do it with the same hand, but you really get a better stretch, especially with the reach kind of towards the outside if you're reaching opposite, because it's really going to give you a nice pull down the outside part of that hamstring and that leg. The third way that I kind of forgot about, but as I was starting to do this, I was like, oh, we'll throw that in too. The third way that you can stretch the hamstrings is to, again, heel down, toes up, bend the trunk forward, okay? So almost like you're just doing that straight forward towards the toes. And then from here, with that knee slightly bent, you're just gonna actually rock the leg side to side, okay? Really slowly so that you get, as you come to the inside, you'll get the inner portion of the hamstring. As you come to the outside, you'll get the outer portion of that hamstring, okay? And so what you wanna do is you would do 10 in each direction on each leg of whichever one you're doing. So if we gotta repeat, I'm gonna go ahead and show you on the opposite leg here. Heel down, toes up, knee a little bent. It's either a 1 2, 3 with your trunk. It's either a 1, 2, 3 with your arm, opposite arm and opposite leg. So if your right leg's up, left arm. Or it's a bend forward, knee is still a little bent, and a side-to-side rock of that foot. Back and forth, nice and slowly, so that you get all sides of the hamstrings, okay? Try that out. I am dying to know what you guys think of it. If any of you have ever done a 3-dimensional hamstring stretch, you should get a really good pull and a really nice stretch through that back part of your leg. So let me know what you think. Try it out, and we'll be back next week with another stretch. Take care.